My name is Uchenna Arisukwu. I work for the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development as Programs Coordinator and the Project Lead on the Open Government Partnership Projects funded by the Mercado Foundation. The Open Government Partnership is a platform where governments and civil society actors who are reformers come together to try to make the governance process open, transparent, and accountable. In a nutshell, the OGP seeks to make the governance process inclusive and participatory by bringing in all the stakeholders involved, citizens groups, civil society, citizens themselves, other stakeholders, public sector, private sector, market women associations, private sector organizations, every stakeholder to have a voice in the governance process, to have a role to play. Governance is about there's a demand side and there's a supply side. So it's to bridge that gap between the demand and the supply of parts of the governance process to make the entire process inclusive, participatory, accountable. When Nigeria signed up to the OGP in 2016, St. LSD was in the front of efforts to get the country to sign in, and upon sign up, we started engaging the process. First of all, we were part of the drafting of the first National Action Plan, NAPON, that has 16 commitments across 4 thematics of fiscal transparency, anti-corruption, access to information, and citizen engagement. As a matter of fact, St. LSD was the first co-chair, CSO's co-chair for citizen engagement in NAPON. We also sat on the steering committee for that period. And also in that period, we were able to secure support from the Mercado Foundation to begin to deepen subnational engagement of the OGP, because when a country signs up to the OGP, it is expected that component states will also key into the OGP to be able to domesticate the ideas of the OGP in their respective states. So at the end of NAP1, that ended in 2020, we were able to, our effort led to the sign up of about 15 states into the OGP across the country. States that we went to provide support for to sign in. We also went ahead to provide capacity for both government and civil society partners on the OGP, and also help them to develop the action plan, which is the blueprint for the operationalization of the OGP in those states. That happened in the NAP1 of the OGP in Nigeria. At the end of the first Mercator grant in 2020, I think the foundation thought we did very well, and they renewed the grant for another 3 years, 2021 to 2023, and even increased the grant sum. So that is for us to continue deepening our engagement at the subnational level. In that grant, we are expected to work with 14 states, 7 that have signed up to the OGP, and 7 that have not yet signed up to the OGP, to bring them onto the OGP train, and also deepen their understanding and their capacity in the implementation of the OGP, but most importantly, to develop their capacity to implement the action plan and establish administrative structures at the state level. Since the implementation of the second National Action Plan in the country, the center has supported through two levels. First, at the national level, because we still sit on the National Standing Committee of OGP Nigeria, where we help to oversee and support the implementation of the NAP2 at the national level. But critically, at the subnational levels, we have supported 8 states for this year alone to do 3 things. First of all, we have built their capacity on the OGP, for them to know what the OGP is and what roles they have to play in the implementation of the OGP. Secondly, we have also supported them to establish administrative structures like their steering committees, their secretariats that will oversee the smooth running of the OGP. And most importantly, at the subnational levels, we have helped them to develop and get their action plans ready. So the action plan is the blueprint, is the document that is like the Bible or Quran of the OGP at the state level. So that action plan has been developed across this estate. That action plan is the tool, is the blueprint that will bring about the transformation and the reforms that OGP seeks to achieve in those states. So states like Plateau, Zamfara, Kebbi, Adamawa, Taraba, Cross River, Plateau, and the FCT, we've worked across these states this year to bring reforms of the OGP to the grassroots level. So in these states now, they have the administrative structures, they have the action plan, and they have the capacity to develop. And we are very hopeful that there will be massive transformations courtesy of the OGP in these states because of our intervention. Going forward, especially in the year 2022, we want to focus on remember I said in our project we are looking at 14 states, 7 that have signed up and 7 that are yet to sign up. So for 2022, we are looking at bringing at least 7 states into the OGP, getting them to sign in, and also support them in establishing administrative structures, in developing the action plan, and also providing them capacity to develop the action plan. What is critical in OGP implementation globally, not even nationally, is that the action plan is implemented to achieve tangible results. It's one thing to develop a beautiful action plan, but what is the crux of the matter, the key, is implementing this action plan, because the action plan contains commitments, contains ambitious plans and activities that the states has looked inward. So these are the commitments that we think that can transform governance and make it much more realistic, make it much more accountable and transparent in this state. So when those plans are implemented and achieved, they will begin to see tangible reforms at the state level. So we are hopeful, and of course with the Mercator support, we still have 2 years to run from 2022 to 2023. We hope to do much more with that support from Mercator and working with these states who are ready to implement OGP in their respective states and achieve reforms.